Now
on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app.
O'Connor and Company.
Let's go. 7:06. It's O'Connor and Company here. Busy Wednesday morning as we're getting it done and keeping you informed while you're bustling around, getting where you need to go. Are the kids in the backseat of the car? We're going to try to stay adult then. I won't go into my juvenile humor too much. It's because you raised 3 teenage boys. You bring out the teenage boy in me.
Okay.
It's your fault,
Yeah,
Julie Gunlock. Julie Gunlock's there. I'm Larry O'Connor. 8:05, Byron York will join us. And at 8:35, Maryland State Senator Justin Reedy. Also, coming up in 30 minutes, we've got a special announcement here related to WMAL and all your favorite folks here on the air. So you're going to want to hear that. Tune in 30 minutes. Joining us right now, speaking of favorite folks, it's Brent Bozell, president of Media Research Center. Media Research Center has been the tip of the spear on pushing back against social media, big tech, and, of course, the evil of communist China's TikTok app. Brent, thanks for joining us.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, but I'm a little confused. This bill that is expected to be voted on today in the House that would ban TikTok, my heart is with it. I'm with it. But also, some conservative commentators have raised alarms that the language is a little ambiguous. It says that the government can ban an app if it's found to have been involved in election tampering. And that could be interpreted as, Elon Musk allows people to, talk about Hunter Biden's laptop story. Well, that's election tampering, so we're going to shut down. Are you confident there are enough safeguards here that this law can't be abused?
Sure, it's in black and white, and frankly, there's some people that are obfuscating, and they're doing the bidding of those who are funding the lobbying. It says in black and white, in no uncertain terms, this bill focuses only on social media apps that are controlled by A, China, B, Russia, C, Iran, and D, North Korea. Right. And they have to be shown to be national security threats to the United States. That's it. That's it. It doesn't apply to anybody else.
Thank you, because I assumed that, but these days, you know how it is, Brent. I mean, we never thought that the Patriot Act would be used in the way that it was used, but it was. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
My understanding, though, is go ahead, Brent.
Well, I don't like the government intruding in anything, but even less do I like foreign governments, most especially the greatest threat to the United States of America, also interfering. Yeah. And they definitely are interfering. TikTok is unquestionably interfering. Look, all you need to know is that this bill, there's my dog.
We love it when the dogs jump in. Honestly, it brings a humanity to our proceedings every morning. Is there a bird outside? Is there a squirrel?
It's the postman.
Just let the dog, whatever it is, let the dog rip it in pieces. Just go.
My neurotic dog. It's look, when you've got a bill that comes out of the Rules Committee 50-0 in this utterly divided Congress where Democrats and Republicans don't want to be in the same room with each other, 50-0. Unanimously, they voted to get this thing and make this thing legislation.
Yeah.
You do have some people pushing back on this. Some members of Congress, Thomas Massey, Senator Paul, and also Trump has shown a little bit of hesitation about this. And they're talking about freedom of expression, free speech, and those issues, which, it does matter. What do you make of the concerns by these very good members
of
Congress?
People who usually have their stuff together.
I think, I think the Team Trump is going to have to explain themselves because theirs is a complete flip-flop. Sure. They were in favor of this. As a matter of fact, in 2020, Trump banned TikTok with an executive order, and it was overturned by a federal judge. But then the Biden administration blocked TikTok on government phones due to CCP spying that was taking place. Look, there was a major study that was done by this a group called It was a major group that was
it's all right.
that was the Network Contagious Research Institute in Rutgers. And look at their conclusion. TikTok systematically promotes or demotes content on the basis of whether it is aligned with or opposed to the interests of the Chinese Communist government.
Yeah.
This is precisely it. Look, it is a mantra. It is politics 101 in the communist movement to do two things. One is control information, and secondly, target young people.
Yeah. And
today, young people say by 1/3 of young people say they get their news from TikTok.
By the way, I want to point out Brent Bozell and Dan Schneider and the team at Media Research Center who focus on big tech and censorship. And this, you guys have been consistent from day one. You've been raising the alarms about TikTok and how it's controlled and what that algorithm does. And so you should be applauded for that, Brent, for that consistency. And by the way, one of the biggest problems with TikTok goes beyond politics. It has to do with how it infects our culture and how young people are basically brainwashed by what they see, and they're inspired to repeat and replicate incredibly dangerous behaviors. And that's, by the way, by design from the Chinese Communist Party.
Yes.
And Brent, I mean,
and all this does.
This week, TikTok put out a notice to their users saying, call your congressman and stop this thing. And the next thing you know, you've got 12-year-old girls threatening suicide if TikTok gets banned. That sort of proves the point, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And that is the power that now you're getting from the communist Chinese government. This isn't Facebook, as awful as Facebook is. This isn't Instagram, as awful as Instagram is, or Google. This is an entity that's controlled by the Chinese government. And all this bill says is divest yourself of control by the communist Chinese government, and you will do just fine in this country, like everybody else. Now, if that's too much for some people to accept, look, they're then going to have to take responsibility for the fact that the Chinese government now has the data on 150 million Americans and growing by the day.
Brent, you mentioned that this came out of the Rules Committee 50-0. Honestly, part of me is suspicious when the Democrats jump on board. It's like I want Ilhan Omar on AOC to be, on the other side of this. But it sure looks like it's going to plow through the House and probably the Senate. And my understanding is President Biden said, he will sign this, despite the fact that his campaign has been on TikTok for the last 3 weeks. Boy, the hypocrisy over there.
Look, I'm suspicious of anything political in this godforsaken city. There will be those who are posturing, and they'll vote one way in one committee and one way on the floor. They always do. But will 50 of it do it when it's 50-0?
Yeah.
No. There's this bipartisan concern that the greatest threat to the United States controls the data of 150 million Americans and is using it. Look what they did after October 17th, pushing the Hamas narrative.
Yeah.
This is telling a whole generation of young people, Israel is a terrible country. Hamas is a noble venture. This is aligning with the goals of the Communist Party in China.
Well, Brent Bozell, it's always great to talk with you. Honestly,
and your dogs.
And your dogs. You're literally a hero and mentor to me, and I love the fact that you guys were so fast on this and so on board. And it looks like all of those efforts are about to pay off in some pretty robust legislation forcing TikTok to divest. By the way, it sounded smaller than a lab. I would think of you like a hunting dog. I imagine you with a deer stalker and a shotgun about to go fox hunting or something.
Springer Spaniel?
Oh, so there you go. Okay.
That's
very old world.
Yeah, and they're tough to.
Oh yeah,
control.
when they start getting something in their sights, there's no. So it was a squirrel.
And he'll lick you to death. So that's his wonderful fact.
Well, I could think of worse ways to go. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate it. It's
Appreciate it.
7:15 WMAL traffic and weather every 10 minutes. First on the fives. Of course, he's got a Springer Spaniel.
Yeah.
That's it. Can't you see? He's a ginger, so it matches.
Perfect.
WMAL, making sense of social media because big tech can't be trusted. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
You hear Ben Shapiro here every night at 9 p.m., and I've known Ben forever. He's a good friend and incredibly talented political commentator. Yesterday, he got quite a bit of pushback on something that and I understand the spirit of what he was saying.
Sure.
But I do think that eventually he sort of went in a direction that he shouldn't have. Here,
Yeah.
take a listen, and then we'll discuss.
And let's be real about this. It's insane that we haven't raised the retirement age in the United States. It's totally crazy. Joe Biden, if that were the case, Joe Biden should not be running for president. Hey, Joe Biden is 81 years old. The retirement age in the United States at which you start to receive Social Security and you are eligible for Medicare is 65. Joe Biden has technically been eligible for Social Security and Medicare for 16 years, and he wants to continue in office until he is 86, which is 19 years past when he would be eligible for retirement. No one in the United States should be retiring at 65 years old. Frankly, I think retirement itself is a stupid idea unless you have some sort of health problem. Everybody that I know who is elderly, who has retired, is dead within 5 years.
All right, and he sort of went on from there, but that moment right there, as you can imagine, sort of.
Frankly, I think retirement itself is a stupid idea unless you have some sort of health problem.
And he doesn't think anyone should be retired. Now, he said most of the people I know, most of the people he knows earn a living talking or writing
in an air-conditioned, sitting down.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I mean, listen, I totally get it, and I don't plan to retire. No, I will die at the microphone. I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Hopefully later rather than sooner. But just be prepared.
Well,
They'll roll me out of here.
I feel the same way. I mean, but I have a very comfortable job.
We are, if I can use the word, privileged.
Definitely.
To do a job like this, that you could, as long as I've got a voice, I can do this job. Same with Ben. A brain and a voice is all you need. But if you're a bricklayer, if you're a construction worker.
Have you seen the people holding the stop sign and the slow sign? I mean, I'm sure they're looking forward to it.
If you're a garbage man. And by the way, even beyond that, if you're a lawyer, lawyers work 70 hours a week, and it's pressure and
it's true. It's not just sort of the blue collar jobs we're talking about. Although if you're a lunch lady, you want to do that.
This is a very American thing, I think, where we the work ethic and may I say, I've been looking at. I'm actually researching this. I'm thinking about writing a book about it, just because it has nothing to do with politics, but it has to do with American culture was very much influenced by the fact that we are a Protestant nation, the biggest Protestant nation on the planet. And Catholic country, everyone goes to Spain and says, look at how lazy they are. And in Italy,
France.
That's actually very much a Catholic thing. Catholics were very much, this whole work-life balance. That's part of Catholic theology, actually, going way back. Protestants were always everything got to keep working, and you become like a cog in the machine of the industry, and that's served America. And it is because of that influence, that is what the American approach has been. But that's not the norm. It's not the norm historically on this planet, and certainly still not the norm. So bad-mouthing the idea of reaching a point in your life where you don't have to work anymore, and that's the key here, Ben.
Right.
Is people don't. There are a lot of people who have to work, and that's heartbreaking for them.
In Ben's circle, it is. But in Ben's circle, I can imagine, you writing, writing op-eds.
I don't want Andrew Klavan ever to retire. I need Andrew Klavan.
I mean, William F. Buckley, right? He died at his desk, right? Probably writing something.
Rush Limbaugh was on the air
until the very end. Yes.
That's great.
But again, this is not normal and not like the rest of the world.
And the way we have a conversation that is long overdue and needs to be had about our Social Security policies, our Medicare policies, and what our government solution is here with regard to retirement and funding for retirement. The way to have it is not to start with, first of all, no one should retire. That's not the way to have it.
That's the way to get people to tune out to your arguments.
That said, by the way, as I mentioned, the research that I've been doing on this and sort of the cultural ramifications, one of the major issues here, which again, I think, I could be wrong, but I think I'm still looking at it, but a Catholic ethic versus a Protestant ethic, where in Catholic families going back generations, and still in old world Europe, even though they're not so Catholic anymore, but culturally they are, grandma and grandpa are part of your life. Grandma and grandpa live in your home.
That's right.
Grandma and grandpa live in the compound, a block away or a house away.
Yeah. You seen The Godfather?
And right. But there's a reason that's
Right.
it. If when you go to a Latin-based country, grandma and grandpa are there helping with the children and helping with the family, and your generation is helping grandma and grandpa, and you're caring for them. So this burden,
I hope my children are listening.
The burden that the government has to take on, and I'm
Is
using
less.
quotation marks, it isn't a burden because it's a family's honor and privilege
Right.
to honor mother and father in their
Right.
old age, and it's not seen as something that the government is supposed to solve.
Yeah.
And again, and these are all tied together, and this is all, as Andrew Breitbart would say, it's culture. It's the culture that's the issue
right.
here, not the politics of it, but we need to have that cultural conversation
Yeah.
first.
Yeah,
My
and
father is ailing right now, and he lives in Portland, and I've implored my stepmother, come move here.
Yeah.
Live in our house. You don't have to worry about all these things. He's alone, right? They have no family around them because they wanted to live in Portland. It's
Yeah.
like, well, you don't have the luxury of that choice anymore.
Well, another part, and we talked about this briefly yesterday, is the role of charity in this country. As individuals rely more on the government,
Right.
there's less need for charitable organizations, and that is a huge problem in our nation and in our culture.
That said, we love Ben Shapiro.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's fantastic. But on this one,
Frankly, I think retirement itself is a stupid idea.
he's wrong. He's wrong. Retirement's a wonderful idea.
Now,
On 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app.
O'Connor and Company.
It's 7:36 now on O'Connor and Company. Thank you so much for being with us and letting us be a part of your morning routine. Coming up at 8:05, Byron York, Washington Examiner. There's a lot to unpack with Byron, especially Robert Hur's testimony yesterday. And at 8:35, Maryland Senator Justin Reedy on the largest tax increase proposed in Maryland history. I don't remember Westmore running for governor saying, vote for me, and I'll give you the largest tax increase in history. What happened to leave no one behind? I don't know, Julie Gunlock. I'm Larry O'Connor, by the way. Julie Gunlock's over there.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. We have a big announcement. I've been talking about it all morning long. So
exciting.
A big WMAL announcement. Are you ready?
Yes.
Oh, we even have a
look at
little
this.
timpani. It's like I feel like Jerry Lewis at the Muscular Dystrophy Telethon. It's the Free Speech Forum. It's back. It's back. This Free Speech Forum. We were unable to do our annual Free Speech Forum last September for various scheduling issues.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew we couldn't get through this year, this ultimate, important, insane political
rioting.
news year without a Free Speech Forum. So listen up, because people are probably used to us doing this event in the fall, in September. Not this time, my friends. The WMAL legendary Free Speech Forum is now scheduled for Sunday, June 2nd.
Nice.
That's coming up.
Yeah.
But it's perfect timing because it's going to be after all the primaries. I mean, really, we concluded the primaries yesterday with both candidates getting their delegate count. But this will be basically about 5 weeks before the Republican National Convention. As we start getting into the crazy time here in the political season, June 2nd.
It's always crazy time.
It's true. But we're so much looking forward to this. And let me tell you, just remind everybody, if you're new to the proceedings here, the Free Speech Forum is a live event with all of your favorite WMAL personalities. I'll be there. Chris Plan will be there. Vince Colonnese will be there. Julie Gunlock and Patrice Onwuka will be there. We're going to get a bigger stage. And the great one, Mark Levin,
Oh, wow.
will be there. And we interact with you. We talk with you. We shake your hands. We sign things. We let you sign things on our bodies. It's a weird whole
dear.
setup.
Oh, dear. I
no,
didn't hear-
you
I
don't
didn't
have to
hear
worry
about
about that. We also, it's at the Birchmere.
Yes, in
by the way.
Alexandria.
I left that out. Exactly. You could walk there
I
probably.
could, yeah.
It's going to be at the Birchmere
won't.
on June 2nd. That's Sunday. Tickets are on sale right now. That's why we're announcing it today. Tickets are on sale. You can go to WMAL.com/free speech forum, or you can go to the Birchmere website and buy your tickets. We have a great time. We're unfiltered. We're uncensored. Sometimes I get admonished by Mark Levin because sometimes I have a bit of a potty mouth.
Yes,
Because,
you do.
well,
you know,
you know
people
what?
get really.
I know they're
sketched
they're
out
they're shook
about
by
that.
that. Here's the thing.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I am exactly. So we have this morning show persona.
I'm the mother of boys.
Morning show people are, we're the happy people and the cordial ones, and we're always, oh, everything's going to be great. But behind the scenes, we're trash. We're absolute trash. And so if you
Not
want to
Patrice,
see,
though, honestly.
no, not
She's
Patrice.
always
That's
a
true.
class act.
Patrice literally has a swear jar in the studio. when she comes in here because she hears things. So if you want to see us unfiltered and unplugged, and we also share at the Free Speech Forum a lot of behind the scenes. My favorite questions, that we interact with you. You ask questions. We answer your questions live right there in front of you. We interact with each other. Sometimes we disagree. That's kind of fun. But usually it's always a political question, or it's a
Sure.
My favorite questions are the behind the scenes questions.
Yeah.
Like, what's it like when you do this, and what does the Hadid carpet cleaning traffic center really look like, and stuff like that. And we will answer all of those questions.
Jamie Whitten actually sits on carpets.
That's right.
Yeah.
She's sort of like doing yoga.
Yeah.
The whole time.
That's how I imagine her, with incense going.
So you want to get there. You want to check it out, and you want to get your tickets now. Now, last time we did a Free Speech Forum, it sold out in like a day.
Yeah.
All right. The Birchmere, I think, seats about 450, if I remember.
You should all be online right now.
WMAL.com/Free Speech Forum, or go to the Birchmere website, and they'll accommodate you. Also, a cool thing about this is the Birchmere, if you've never been there, it's a legendary music venue and comedy venue here in town. We get to go up on that stage where just giants have tread before us, and that's sort of fun.
Yeah.
And they serve dinner, and it's really
nice.
good food.
Oh, good.
There's dinner, there's drinks, there's a bar. We all get toasted. It's fantastic. I'm only worried that it's a Sunday night because we're going to have an early wake-up call the next morning.
Doors open at 5, and the show doesn't start until 7. Oh, dear.
And by the way, and I'd love this, doors open at 5, but it is, I believe it's, you buy your ticket, but then they seat you at the tables around the stage based on how soon you got there.
Oh.
So people start lining up at like noon.
No.
Because they want to be in the front.
No.
Yeah, well, they want to be in the spray zone for Chris Plant. He does sort of a whole... Well, he gets a little sweaty. People don't know that about Chris.
Stop. That is so mean. He
It's
does
okay.
not.
No, it's fine.
He's
There's
so
nothing wrong
cool.
with
There's
that.
no chance of that.
We're very much... If you don't get the picture already, it's a fun night. And we have a lot of laughs, and you can see us in our natural habitat, sort of natural habitat. Generally speaking, think about all those people on stage all wanting to chime in. 3 questions get asked, and then an hour and a half is over. Seriously.
Yes.
And it's a blast. We need to see you there. We need each other. I mean, honestly, the best part of this event is that you know that everyone in that room has something very important in common with you.
Well,
and that's this radio station, WMAL. So, and we love that feeling. We love the camaraderie and love in that room.
Well, we go to that. We have events. Your wine club, for instance, and I know Vince does.
Vince just did State of the Union.
That's
Huge
right.
turnout for that.
And gosh, I have so much fun meeting and talking and interacting with listeners. It's fabulous. So
the difference is this is the one and only time where we're all together, all at the same time on the stage. There's not even a designated survivor. I guess it'll be.
It'll be Patrice.
I guess Ben Shapiro, actually. No, Patrice will be there.
Oh, she'll be there. Yeah.
That's right.
I get it,
But we will all be there all together. This is the one and only time you'll see us all together this year, this important, incredible election year. So make sure you get to WMAL.com/Free Speech Forum or to the Birchmere website. Once again, Sunday, June 2nd, the Free Speech Forum. It's going to be the entire cast of O'Connor and Company, me, Julie, and Patrice. We got Chris Plant, we got Vince Colonnese, and we got the great one, Mark Levin. Be there or be someplace you shouldn't be. It's 7:43.
Making sense of your world.
Thank you for your clear insight.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
This is a major wake-up call.
Making sense of the news.
Pants optional. If you live in Maryland, it's about to cost you a lot more money for the privilege. HB 1515 is going to apply Maryland sales tax to almost every service that the public uses, increasing the amount of sales tax you pay by about 50%, costing Marylanders a projected $3 billion plus annually. This would be the largest tax increase in Maryland history.
Just really clear. You'll be taxed on your haircuts, every Uber ride, every home or car repair, pet sitting, every delivery. And this is my favorite one. Every time an accountant prepares your taxes. So
they're taxing.
So thanks, Democrats.
Paying your taxes.
Thanks, Maryland Democrats. Elections matter. Yeah. This is what you get. And record inflation.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's not like the economy is so strong right now, and things are chugging along, and people are, flush with cash, that this isn't going to make a difference.
Well, and also earnings are not keeping up with inflation. Okay, so people are already short. They can't move. They're trapped in their houses because they can't, buy a new house because they don't want
exactly because of the interest rates.
Yeah,
and
they're paying more to heat and cool their homes. I mean, it is just death by 1,000 cuts.
And all of it is a result of policies enacted by Democrats.
That's right.
Either at the federal level or at the state level. And again, not exactly what I remember Wes Moore running on, when it was all, leave no one behind, and you're going to feel great about yourself if you vote for me, and that Republican is icky because he wears a MAGA hat. Well, here we go. This is exactly what we've done. This is Martin O'Malley politics in Maryland all over again. They'll tax the rain if they can.
I just think, Larry, I think about people on a fixed income. This is going to, and look, it's going to use an old phrase, it's going to trickle down. You're going to stop getting your hair cut. You're going to stop getting these services.
Yeah. We're in a moment, we're going to be joined by Justin Reedy. He's a Maryland State Senator. He'll give us the update on whether this thing is actually going to get passed or not. But if it does, it's going to make Maryland a lot more expensive. 7:53.